My name is Dawn Marie, and this is my channel DM's Crafty Vortex. This is my channel all about my love of cross stitch and whatever other crafty adventures I happen to get up to throughout the month. It's been, I think, about 3 weeks since my last update because I've been a little busy, as I mentioned in my last update that I would be. Today is Saturday, November 29th, and I think that's it for the intro. Intros are always the hardest. I do want to thank everybody who's here today, all my old viewers and anyone who's stopping by for the first time. Thank you so much for being here. I know there are so many floss tubes now out there to watch, and I'm so excited and here for it, but I do appreciate that you've taken the time to stop by and watch me. Normally, I only show cross stitch. I don't usually get up to my other adventures, but there is going to be a little bit of knitting and a little bit of quilting, but I will save that for the very, very end. But I am super excited about my quilt reveal. So if you like quilting, stick around for that. As I said, it has been a few weeks since my last video. I do try to video every other week, but I was away at a cross stitch retreat 2 weeks ago, and then I was away at a, let's call it a little mini quilt retreat last weekend. It wasn't an official retreat, but my friend Sue had a few of us over her house for the weekend, and it was lovely. It was so amazing. I had so much fun, but I will get into that again towards the end because that is more quilty and not quite so cross stitchy, and I know most of you are here for the cross stitch. So let's get right in. I might talk about a little bit of the cross stitch retreat towards the end, but where it already was so long ago, I don't remember much except for the fun haul I'm going to show you in a little bit. Okay, now before we get into the cross stitch, I am going to be doing another giveaway, and because it works out so good, it is going to be another $25 gift card to a cross stitch store of your choice. The rules are, though, it has to be someplace that I can get to online, buy the gift card, and then email you a link or something to it. So, you know, Pain Free Crafts, 123 Stitch, the last winner, her local needlework shop actually had it set up so that you could go online, order a gift card, and send it. And Accounting and Stitches, I think that's what it is. I can't wait for your next update to see what you purchased with it, because I believe you were going there for a little Stitchy get together, if I have it correct. I watched that video a few days ago. Again, Accounting and Stitches, it's a floss tube also. Go check her out. So yes, so $25 gift card, place of your choice. The rules, you have to be 18 or older to give me your email address. Please don't say giveaway or free or anything in the comments below. But the best part is, because it's a gift card, you can be anywhere that accepts gift cards. So this is not exclusive to the US, which I love about this. I know it's not as exciting as me holding up something and saying you could win this, but I love the fact that I don't have to exclude anyone when I do it. So we're gonna stick with this for now. And also, we're in my busy season at work, so I am now working 6 days a week, most weeks, so getting to the post office is a little bit of a pain in the butt as well. All right, so the word, you're gonna need that, right? You're thinking, she forgot to give me the word. I did not forget to give you the word. I almost forgot to give you the word, but I did not forget. So the word is going to be wrapping, because I have been wrapping all afternoon. So W-R-A-P-P-I-N-G, wrapping is the key word, and I hope I spelled it correctly because I'm tired and I work today. So that is the word. Link it down below, and in 2 weeks when I film again, I will do my random comment generator and find out who's going to get a little early Christmas present this year, or Hanukkah present, or Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. It's an equal opportunity $25 gift card that I'll be sending somebody's way. So now let's get into the cross stitch. And oh my goodness, I just thought I went through all of that without hitting record. I did hit record, all is good, because this was my 3rd take, so I would be ready to cry if I had to do this all over again. Okay, cross stitch. So I've been doing the Countdown to Harry Potter Christmas, and I probably said that in the wrong order, but that's okay. With In Stitches and Ebony is the one who started it, and Leanne, Small Town Stitches, is doing it as well, and I hopped on the bandwagon for this. So I have picked 3 projects, and every weekend I watch a Harry Potter episode, and I stitch along with the project of my choice. So I think Ebony picked 3 or 4, and I think Leanne is just watching the movies and stitching whatever she happens to be stitching on. I am a week behind because, like I said, I went away for 2 weekends in a row. But I watched one, I'm watching one tonight, so I will be officially caught up tonight, and then hopefully I can watch another one tomorrow night, and I will be right on track for where I need to be. So the one we're not going to see today is Dumbledore's Library. I stitched that week 1, and I showed that on my last video. So what I did stitch on for the second Harry Potter movie was Sunset at Hogsmeade. You know, how perfect is that for a Harry Potter stitch along? And I managed to get 306 stitches in during it for a total of 7,535 stitches at, yeah, and I'm saying this wrong. So I am at a total of 7,535 stitches out of a total of 375,000 stitches, and I'm at 2.01% complete. So I think that gets me a milestone. I went over the 2% mark. I'm so excited about that. This is what it looks like. So Sunset at Hogsmeade. I should have pulled this out so you could look at it while I was reading the stats to you instead of you just stuck looking at me. But I am doing the max color version. And artwork is by Leonardo AI. The chart is designed by Kresnik Creative. Here it is. And I am just plugging away at this roof up here. So this is what it looked like the last time you saw it. And this is where 306 stitches got me. So I've got this chimney all pretty much filled in. So I think next time I want to start filling in this roof, and then I want to start getting into my diagonal stitching. That's just more of my comfort zone. But that is coming out so nice. I was so worried. If you watched any of my past videos way back when I started this, I was very nervous because I was into this point and there really just wasn't much detail, but I kept going. I was told to persevere, trust the process, and the rest of this is starting to look amazing. Now, I don't know, because I know Ebony is working on this as well. I don't know if she's doing the max color as well. I think Leanne's also working on this, and I don't think she's doing the max size. So she's got into the chimney a little bit faster than me. But I think I'm stitching this on 25 count easy grid. I either stitch on 25 or 28 count. 25 count is my preferred method, but I did start some on 28 count because who knows why. And this is being stitched with DMC. So I used to have a master collection of DMC, but I think this is one of the reasons I no longer have a master set because it took so many colors. This is also part of my Flosstube Frenzy, I believe. I used this for Ashley, I think she just uses her name, doesn't she? I mean, Hannah Darling, because the reason this is Hannah's project is when this was originally charted, they messed up and put a bunch of retired colors in here. And Hannah had those retired colors and she sent them to me. So this is actually kitted up with the original design. She has since fixed it so that the retired colors are no longer in here. But Hannah came to my rescue, Hannah Darling. She also has a Flosstube. Go check her out. I absolutely adore her. I don't miss any of her videos, which is probably good because she's in my Flosstube Frenzy list. And for those of you who are saying, what the heck is Flosstube Frenzy? It is something I'm starting actually this Sunday. The Alchemist Stitcher started it, and then Jen the Caffeinated Crafter took it to the next level, and Jen is where I saw it, and that's where we pick a certain amount of Flosstubers. Jen picked 21. I think I have 12 or 13, and we stitch based on the Flosstubers because I don't watch a lot of TV, so I can't do a lot of those challenges, the Survivor or the Bake Off challenge. So if somebody on my list does a Flosstube, I will stitch 200 stitches on their chart that I put to them. I've also added 50 stitches for a new start and 50 stitches for a finish. Jen has milestones and all kinds of things. I get anxiety watching Jen's, but I'm here for it. I love the look on her face when somebody has just maxed out the stitches on her. But I've kept mine right now at like easy to do because I've got, you know, big things I'm doing next year. So that's really brief. If you want more detail, to go to, I think Jen might have done a whole video on it. And again, the Alchemist Stitcher is the one who originally started it. So you can go check out their channels as well. So next up was more Harry Potter stitching. And I'm going to, I don't have a picture of this one, so I'm actually going to have to show you on the tablet. It's one of my older whips, so I don't know why I don't have a picture printed up, but very excited to pull this out. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. So this is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork by Rose Cat Khan, and this is Magic Study. This is the rainbow version, and it is the supersized max color Heaven and Earth Designs version. This is no longer on their site, but you can get it, sorry for the ring light, you can get it at Pain Free Craft now. I don't think Pain Free Craft doesn't do like supersized max color, but it's substantially big enough there to get all the detail in. And I am just up in that top left corner because I started this and then it promptly got put away. This is being stitched on 28 count with DMC. And I got 260 stitches in during the show. Oops. So I am at 22,419 stitches out of a total of 739,260 stitches, and I'm at 3.03%. So I mean, it's a lot. 22,000 is a lot, just not on a supersized max color project. And this is where I am at now. I've been plugging away right here on this dragon. But then, I'm so sorry, Jen, but then I pulled it out so that I could see the hole where I'm at, and I noticed I only needed 4 stitches over here to get a page finish. So Jen, last I knew, was almost caught up on the whip sheet, so she has me as one of her Flosstubers for Flosstube Frenzy, and she was almost caught up, and we can't have Jen getting caught up. There is no fun in watching Jen caught up. The joy of watching Jen is to see the perpetual being behind and her figuring out how she's going to get caught up. So I did those 4 stitches and I got a page finish. So a page finish for Magic Study. I'm so excited. And this is one of my frenzies, so I will be getting slow but steady progress on this. And for the size it is, it needs progress. I don't know if this will ever be a finish. At some point, for it to be a finish, it will need to be like Portal. I will need to be just consistently working on it. 200 stitches here and 200 stitches there is not going to get this done. But right now I'm just having fun working on it. So this is where I'm at. Sorry, I needed to pause for a second. My stepson was making a wander through, but okay. So that was Magic Study. tonight I will be working on Dumbledore's Library when I watch Harry Potter. I'm excited to get that out because again, it is another, I don't know what it is. I love these huge projects. So it's another huge one. It's gonna get some stitches tonight. I am making fast progress when I do work on it because I'm just in a lot of, I think it's 939 is what I'm at on that. But that's for another floss tube because I haven't worked on it yet. So now that is my Harry Potter stitching. So next up, we're just going to get into some regular whips. And then after that, we'll get into some new starts. So next up is my portals. This is my baby. This has been getting most of my stitching time. If I can find my chart. Okay. Okay, so this is 6 Portals by Rosecat Khan, charted by Pain-Free Crafts, and it's so big that even the picture makes it hard to see. So this is what I'm working on, and I was like cruising along, but now I am in Confetti Central, so it has really slowed down. A couple of people stitching on this, if you want to see things different than me, because I am just going to town on this first portal. Sis Stitches is going to town on the purple portal, so she started over in the purple, but I'm doing the orange. Orange is my least favorite color, so I figured I need to get this done first, although I gotta say, the charting is beautiful. Stepson again. Okay, he should be situated at this point. He's gone up the stairs, he's gone down the stairs. Hopefully he's put for a little bit. Anyways, I've actually enjoyed the orange stitching on this. So Siski is doing the purple. Now Jen, the caffeinated crafter, is going all along the top. And then she's doing 300 stitches each time she works on it in a different portal. And then her goal, I think, next year is to work on a portal each month, and then so that she'll work on each portal twice throughout the year next year. Also, if you watch Lynn at those missing stitches, Lynn is now walking in my shoes. She had so much done in this orange portal, and she was going across the top versus my diagonals. So much done, and she's starting over. So I feel for her, but I've been there. I know what she's going through. You have to love something this big. So I think she was doing it in 10 stitch, but she stopped because she wasn't loving the CXC. So she switched over to DMC, but I think she's also switching over to full cross. I could be wrong on that, but the best way to find out is to watch her at those missing stitches, when hopefully she'll be doing an update soon so I can see her new stock. Anyways, so I worked on this, and what did I do? Jen, thank you for asking. I hit some milestones on this one. So I did 5,068 stitches, but keep it in mind it's been 3 weeks since the last time I worked on this. So I'm at a total of 11,824 stitches out of 964,800 stitches. So what does that mean? That means I'm over 10,000 stitches. That's a milestone. I am now over the 1% mark as well. So excited for that. There's a milestone. And I've had a page finish. Super, super excited. I'm very close to a second page finish. Not quite there yet, but this is what it looked like the last time you saw it. And this is stitched on 25 count, 1/1 full cross with CXC floss. So I'm loving the CXC floss. I don't mind it at all. So I'm gonna keep going with it. I think it's these blues that Lynn wasn't a fan of, but oh my God, look at this. This is the bird right here. But this is, after all this, just like 5 or 6 colors in here, then you're hitting, I think, every color of the rainbow right there. But that is the bird, that's the bird, the bird. I'm so excited. So I have been plugging away on this a little bit every night. I did take last night off to do a little bit more simpler stitching just because there is so much confetti going on in this. But oh gosh, it's worth every stitch. stitch. I love this so much. This, if I don't complete the Heaven and Earth 26 Sal, this will be the reason. This will be the culprit that will stop me from reaching my goals, because I have a very, very hard time putting this down. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing the frenzy, is I only have to do like 200 stitches here, 200 stitches there, and it will help me pull out some of my other projects that will just collect dust otherwise, because I could easily monogamous stitch on this right now. But oh my gosh, I could just show this to you all day and then you'd be bored and you wouldn't be watching, and I would just still be here just staring at this. But yes. So again, what did I say? 11,824 stitches. And we will not talk about the fact that I would be at almost 20,000 stitches if I hadn't started over. We're not going to go there. We're not. We're just going to think about the 11,000 stitches. Oh my gosh. Okay. And I won't have time to work on it tonight because Harry Potter. But, oh my goodness. You will be seeing this again on my next video. Let's see if I can fit this in the bag. I would just leave them out, but the cats are running around here somewhere, and on the off chance they decide to wander in here, I don't want them getting to this. So I am officially at the point where I've passed where I was for the restart. So this is going to be the last time you see this. This is where I was at the last time I restarted it. So this was my 10th stitch. I don't know. I've got all of this 28 count now that I got to figure out something to do with. I mean 32 count. So just tons of 32 count. I got to find a home for. But that officially doesn't have to go back in the bag anymore. All right. This sack's gonna start getting way too big. All right, next. Next was watching Catherine's Stitching Chronicles. She's always got this hanging. She's got it done. She has it framed. And I keep thinking, I need to pull this out. I need to finish this. And I do. I need to pull this out and I need to finish it. And what do I need to pull out and finish? I need to pull out my Mermaids of the Season Sal from Bella Filipina. I had so much more done than I thought when I pulled it out. And I just need to get some stitches in on this. So this is a paper chart, so I have no idea how many stitches I have done. But there is a story to this, and this is why you don't let things sit for a long time. So I have, let me just, because you haven't seen it in a while. I'm gonna let you see. This is what it looked like the last time you saw it forever ago. I'm just taking all my, and I was working on it. So there's, let me get rid of the needle so that you're not looking at the needle. There we go. I'm not gonna take it out of the Nudge hoop, but this is where I am at now. So what did I do? I started working, finishing up the framework. And so this is Krynic. We all know how hard Krynic is to get. So I got all the framework of the Krynic done. And then I got these little, whatever you want to call these things in the corner. I don't know. Somebody's probably screaming it at me. I got these done. So all I had left to do is autumn and winter, right? That's it. How much did I have left? I had this much left. Not going to get autumn and winter out of this. I was so upset because Krynic is so hard to find. So I Googled it. I found a place on Etsy. I ordered some. Shipping was outrageous, so I ordered something else, which you'll see in haul, so that I could get enough Krynic to finish this. And then I was digging through the bag. So this bag has a lot in it. This is my mermaid bag I made. It has a lot in it because I have two projects in here because I'm also doing another mermaid project. And I hear crinkling and I'm like, what is down at the bottom of this bag? which is now falling down to the bottom again. Now I ordered the whole kit from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers back when they did it, and I pull out this bag. And what is in this bag? The Krynic that I need. Yes. So they were smart enough to send us enough for the stitch along, but in my head I had finished up the spool, and I was thinking it had to have been the second spool because I knew this called for 2 spools because I only had that little bit left to go. I wasn't thinking that the first spool got almost the whole project done. So now I had Krynic rushing its way to me, paying shipping I didn't want to pay when I had it the whole time. So when Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers kits up a fabric, they kit up enough, just to let you know. So I now have an extra thing of Krynic, but it's on the paper now versus the spool. The fabric for this is, I used, again, I had Fiberlicious kitted up, so it's the called for fabric at this point. Singing in the Rain by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers is what it is, and I think I am probably doing 28 count because beads. This is obviously takes a lot of beads, but so here it is, called for fabric, called for threads, called for Krynic, which I now have plenty of. And so after I did the borders, I started right in here. So this is that tail right there is where I'm at. So, having a lot of fun. You forget when you're not doing full coverage how quickly a design appears in front of your eyes. I did have this on a scroll frame, but all this beading, it was making it wobbly and it wasn't my favorite scroll frame, so I did take it off, and I am able to do the Nourish hoop and stay away from the beads on the other ones. So, because these are 100% beaded, backstitched, everything. So, very excited about this. It is not on my frenzy list, but I definitely think I need to find some time to keep working on that for a little bit. I think that's all I have to say on that. Running out of spots. All right, I can just go there. Put the chart in here. I still have misplaced my Bellatrix chart. I have no idea. I had to have put it in the wrong bag, but I've checked my bags. I can't find it anywhere, and I really don't want to repurchase it. Okay, so that was Mermaids. I pretty much worked on portals the whole time I was at my cross stitch retreat, so that's how I was able to get up to 5,000 stitches. Although I didn't cross stitch at all last weekend, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. There wasn't a stitch to be had cross stitch wise. So now let's get into a couple of new starts. So again, I was at the cross stitch retreat and I wanted to bring something just super simple to do in my room. Sorry for the crinkling. I thought I did really good opening all those bags. Something super simple to do, just a few stitches in my room if I was exhausted that I really didn't have to think about. So I pulled out one of my Water Biz stamp kits, and it was a retreat. And yes, I have 3 or 4 Water Biz stamp kits already started. I wanted a new start, so I grabbed this one. And she doesn't name them. She does make them herself. They are AI generated, but she doesn't. You're not going to find a Mirabilia or a Bella Filipina copyrighted over onto her site. She designs them herself with AI. And this came from, once a month she does an auction for one of a kind. So this was a one of a kind. Now you might find this out there in like a slightly different colorway. You may find this out here if somebody steals the image and copyrights it, because that's been done. We won't talk about that, but mine was bought at the auction. This is what I got. It is so pretty. I cannot wait to get into all the prettiness. I did this one because you get to choose after you win what count you want. And I went with 14 count. I usually go with higher counts, but I wanted just, again, I wanted something super simple, super relaxed, and nothing I had to think about. I just wanted to just stitch. So I went with 14 count. And this is where I have gotten to. Don't mind the threads. I was stitching on it today during my break at work. So just black, nothing exciting, but super easy. Needle to thread, don't have to think about it. I want to get this corner of the black done so that I can move the hoop, and then I can kind of go back and forth at that point. I'll do some black, some wing, some black, some wing. And everything comes with a Waterbiz kit. So this hoop, about 20-something needles. If 20-something needles isn't enough for you, I don't know. So I made the needle minder. But the hoop, the needles, thread snips, everything, needle threader, little thimbles, wax, that all comes all together. Everything. Like, you can literally get this in the mail, grab the bag, go somewhere and stitch on it. There isn't anything you have to purchase to work on this once you get the kit. So this is what I got. I do have another auction item heading my way. I'm hoping I get it soon because it's a Christmas related theme to it, and I need to get it before my No New Starts start, and I wanted to work on it in December. And then I also purchased one just off her regular one's website too. But I have a problem, but this problem isn't going to be as bad next year. So there's that with, look at all these colors. Oh, there's that. I'm sorry, there's no getting around the crinkling on this. And then last up for cross stitch, it's another new start. I started this with Lacey. Oh my God, the Sleepy Stitcher. Lacey also kept thinking is coffee. She drinks coffee. Lacey the Sleepy Stitcher. The problem is I talk to Lacey so much that she's just Lacey to me now versus, so trying to think of the screen name when you just kind of know them as a person, and I consider her a super, super dear friend. So to me, she's Lacey now, but to you guys, she's the Sleepy Stitcher. And she has also started a Facebook group. So if you watch her and you don't know about it, go over to Facebook and find her there as well. So we had both got the Grand Butterfly Ball, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, designed by Amy Stewart. I bought it a long time ago, threw it into Patent Keeper. No way. Nope. The detail was horrible. And it wasn't because of Heaven and Earth Design. It's not that she did a bad job charting it. It's just a huge chart. So there's only so much you can do with it. So I purchased the Quick Stitch, the Grand Butterfly Ball. And when you purchase a Quick Stitch, you can let her know what part you want. So it took me a little bit to go through because there's so much going on in this chart to find what I wanted. And it was hard. It was hard to choose because you got the blue left-hand side and the purple right-hand side. I mean, this could literally be 4 separate charts. So I picked the upper left corner, and I had her chart that out for me. Well, for everybody. I mean, I paid for it, but now anybody can buy it. So it's a quick stitch. However, it's not a quick stitch. This is still 625 by 763. So it is still, where is it? 476,875 stitches. It's not small, but because she took a small section and blew it up, the detail is so much better. So I, as usual, started in the top left-hand corner, and Lacey started over in the top right-hand corner. So check out Lacey's channel because she's got the moon and everything starting, whereas I'm just up here in detail. However, again, it's one of my frenzies, so hopefully it'll get some love this year. So this was a new start. I started this at the Cross Stitch Retreat as well. And I am doing this on 25 count easy grid, 1/1, full cross, and it is not in the back. So hold that thought. I have paused this video, I think more than I've ever paused any of the videos I've ever made so far. Okay, the problem is I haven't made my bag yet for this project because I've had to work on a quilt, and we'll go into that later. But I'm excited to get to make the bag for this so that this will be with everything else. So anyways, quick stitch the grand butterfly ball. I started it at the cross stitch retreat. I've gotten 696 stitches in for a total, out of a total of 476,875 stitches. So what I did on this is every morning I would work on it until breakfast. So breakfast was at 8, we'd probably get there about 6:30, 7 o'clock, get an hour's worth of stitching in on it. At breakfast time, it would go away. Portals would come out until dinner. Then portals would go away after dinner, and then I would work on whatever else I brought along to work on. So the mermaids got worked on. It was so long ago. I feel like I worked on other stuff, but can't remember off the top of my head. So anyways, it's not overly exciting stitching because again, it was only 696 stitches. It was up in the upper left-hand corner. It was all just one color stitching, but it's still a start. It is on 25 count easy grid, and it's 1/1 CXC floss. And this is where I am at. But it's a start. You know, it's more than 100 stitches, so it is a start. And if you see my needle minder, it's my little swirly thing you see at the very beginning. And so the thing you see at the beginning, oh God, it's been what, 5 years I've been recording. My son designed that for me. So he kind of did all kinds of little crafty things. So it's not so much cross stitch, but it's like a rotary cutter, a needle and thread. I think that might be a sewing machine way in the back, and it's a tape measure that's swirling around it. Anyways, my son designed that. And then my best friend, Amy, had all kinds of needle minders made up with like my logo name and my logo and everything. So that's one of the needle minders she had made for me. So that is my second new start. So Jen, I had 2 new starts. I worked on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects. So I think you're safe with your new count. So I didn't reach 10, I only did 6, and a bunch of milestones. Do what you want with the milestones. I won't be offended. So that is all of the cross stitching that I did. So we're gonna do quick haul, and then I will show a little bit of knitting and a little bit of quilting. All right. So most of this haul is because I was at a cross stitch retreat, and I am doing, as I said, I'm doing no new starts next year. And I'm hoping because of no new starts, that's also kind of lead me into not buying as much as well. So first was, it was off the freebie table. Well, technically it wasn't off the freebie table. It was supposed to go to the freebie table, but never quite made it there because it was at a table with my friend Valerie, and she let me do a quick peek through the box, and this came home with me instead of making it to the freebie table. And this is Counted Cross Stitch Hummels. And the reason I grabbed this is my very first couple of cross stitches were Hummels. They were big Hummels, and my mom and my aunt are the owners of those. But, so I had to grab it. I don't know what happened. There was a time I had so much cross stitch stuff. I can't show you any of the other designs. They're all just charts. I had so much cross stitch stuff in a prior life. And, you know, life circumstances change, and got rid of all my cross stitch stuff. And I regret it so much to this day. I never thought I'd pick it back up again. And I just think about all the beautiful charts and things I had that are now gone. But we move on. I've clearly bought enough to make up for it. So that was a freebie. Then next up, I've always loved the Heart and Hand Tiny Towns, I think they're called. Yeah, Tiny Towns. Always loved them, always wanted to do one, but never found one that I actually wanted to pull the trigger and buy. And then I saw this one, Frosty, and oh, I just love this. So hopefully I will still love this when my No New Starts is over, but for now, I'm just gonna look at the chart and enjoy it. Next up, this one is going to be so hard not to start. This is from Flossabilities, and she also has a YouTube channel. A lot of the times, a Flosstube, a lot of the times her mom, Mama Flossabilities, joins her as well. Absolutely enjoy them. I will link her below. She's gotten into charting, and I absolutely just had to buy this. This had to come home with me. This is going to be hard not to start. Although, I mean, come October, if I make it till October, I feel like a Halloween start is almost as important as a birthday start. So we'll see. We'll see. So, oh my gosh, I absolutely love this. It is gorgeous. I want to start it so bad. And I think Stitch Me just released some fabric, which would be perfect for this. But it was a few weeks ago, so I don't know if that was a limited time release. But you would think with all the fabric I have, I would have something perfect for this, but I really don't have a ton of gray. And then I got this because I bought the Krynic, and I didn't want the Krynic to go alone. I wanted to make it worth the shipping and handling. That's guys' math, right? Like when they go to Home Depot and they buy a tool they don't need because it was on sale. We have to buy more stuff to make up for the shipping and handling. So I bought a buttons and beads. And this kind of reminds me of the Hate chart that came out recently with the little cottage, and it had the what do you call it, clothesline and everything on it. But of course, this is just a tiny buttons and beads, and it's so cute. I want to get that thing that everybody's using that they put their paper in so that they can stitch. Do you all know what I'm talking about? That magnetic frame to make it easier because your thread always catches on the edge. So, but that's that. Cute little buttons and beads. And then we'll backtrack back to the retreat. I bought this a long time ago. And then I recently kitted it up with all the floss. Excuse me. Halloween and Quilt by, let's make life easy, Cory Badatori. And is this the right one? I think it's this one. No, it might not be though. It might be Micro Chatty Go-Go. All right, I think it's this one. I'm gonna have to double check. I could be wrong. Either way, they're both kitted up, but I think it's this one. And I ordered from World and Stitches, yeah, the fabric. So that's going to be specialty dyed up, and then the fabric will come to me. And I think it's this one. I'll have to look into that. I got both charts either way, so whichever one it is, I have the chart for it. That one might get started just because me and two others bought the fabric. So, and I think Janet and I are going to do it as a start along once that fabric comes in. Okay. Then Stitch Is So Beautiful had a sale. And I absolutely love Stitch Is So Beautiful. I love the fact that their charts are smaller, so they feel like they're more doable, but the detail is still amazing. So I got from The Waterfall House by Etta Jose Rosa, again, charted by Stitch Is So Beautiful. I got this. And then I also got charted by Stitch Is So Beautiful, Books Dark Night Sky, charted by Little Quaint Designs. And when you see this, you'll know that I just had to get this one. This one was just screaming my name. So I'm a little nervous because clearly I'm not going to be able to use gridded fabric. But I love this. This will definitely be a start once I can do starts again. Unless it's a birthday start. I think that is everything for the haul. Oh, and then I also, not haul related, but I am all officially ready for the Heaven and Earth Stitch Along. So I am all kitted up, ready to go. Again, I am doing this picture's horrible, I apologize. My printer was not behaving. I was doing the Stone Cottage. If I remember, I'll put a better picture up here. I have a better picture on my phone than, I just couldn't get it to print out for some reason. So that's all set, ready to go. That's going in this bag that I made right here. So this was gifted to me by Helen, the East Coast Stitcher. Oh my God, what am I? It's late. It's a Saturday night. I usually stitch on Sunday mornings. Anyways, she gifted me this. And I made a bag out of it. Okay, so, and if you're not the type to watch unboxings, because not everybody watches unboxings, I also got from Oak Crown Studio. Now, in fairness, I bought this a few months ago, and it just came in. So really quickly, I got a dragon needle minder. I don't know how well that's showing up with the glare. Some water lily thread. I got a pattern and a pair of scissors. I'm not going to pull those out again because I did an unboxing, but I got some absolutely gorgeous fabric. So this is Dragon Breath. This is a 32 count Lugana. I'm holding it back to try and get the color because if you do this, it blows it out and it does not look like that at all. It's definitely a little more muted. So Dragon Breath, Dragon Scales, and a Dragon Smoke. Dragon Smoke. That could have potential with my Flossabilities design. I'll have to see how big of a piece I need. Because that is beautiful and I want to put something on it so bad. Okay, that's it for haul. Now, here's the chart. It's a little biscorno of a dragon. So, as I said, I spent a weekend with friends these friends are, I met these friends back when my son was still in diapers. This was, oh my God, I don't know what's up with my hair, I'm sorry. Again, I worked all day. Back before YouTube and everything, there was chat groups, and it was the Alex Anderson Quilting chat group. And I met some wonderful ladies on there who are still my friends today. So two of those, my friends Melissa and Neen, we met, and then where Melissa lives, a quilt shop opened, and the owner, Sue, we met her because Sue taught there and I ended up teaching there, and Sue is just a dear part of my life as well. So the four of us got together at Sue's house for a crafty weekend. I'll say crafty weekend. I quilted, Melissa quilted, Sue quilted and knit, and Neen knitted, and it was just amazing. It was such a reset for my soul. And I was able to get a baby quilt done that I've been working on that was just taking up brain space. You just have something that's just taking up brain space and you just want it done. And I love the pattern, but I didn't pick out the fabric. So, you know, it's really hard to make something when you didn't pick out the colors. So they're not my colors. I'm sure people have told me it's a beautiful quilt. They're not my colors. The quilt pattern's gorgeous because I've got a quilt almost done in the same pattern in colors I did pick out that I forgot I even started until I needed to find the pattern to make this baby quilt. So now mine is only 1.5 blocks away from being finished, but that will get done hopefully this weekend. So I sewed from morning till night. Well, Friday night we got there, sewed all night, sewed all day and all night Saturday, got up early Sunday and sewed all day Sunday, and I have a completed quilt top. I'm not gonna be able to show you the whole thing because literally I don't have much space behind me, but I'll open it up, show you a little bit, and then maybe I'll be able to insert a picture. I had it laying out on a bed, but it's done. So here, I don't even know what you can see at this point, but it's just, it's scrappy. It's very, very, very pink, but that's what they wanted. So I'm going to insert a picture of it all laid out. So what I'm going to do is, once this top's done, once my top's done, which again only has 1.5 blocks left to go, and then the assembly shouldn't take too long, I am going to invite myself to my friend Sue's house, and I'm going to quilt them, and they're going to be done, and I will have a quilt, and my brother will have a quilt for the baby that is going to be born this month. The quilt will not be done before the baby's born, but I told them that when they asked me to make a quilt that it would not be done before the baby's born. So, but so excited to at least have the top done. It's still taking up brain space, but it's not taking up as much brain. You know what I mean, right? About something just taking up brain space that you just don't want it there. And it's like, just get it done, because you're just constantly thinking, I've got to work on it. I've got to get it done. And you might as well just do it. Get it out of that spot in your head. So that is a quilt top done. Hopefully I remembered to show you the picture of it all done. So then the next thing I worked on was, as I said, Sue was knitting and Neen was knitting, and I have to remind myself, no, I am not going to make myself a sweater, because I've already knitted myself 3 sweaters and I've given them all away, because every time I knit a sweater and I put it on, I itch because I'm sensitive to wool. So knitting and being sensitive to wool are not really a good combination, but I keep thinking that I can do it this time because there's so many beautiful sweaters out there. And however, I did have a hat almost done, and I didn't realize how close it was till done until I pulled it out and said, you know, you're around somebody who's doing something, so all of a sudden you want to do it too, you know, FOMO. And I was like, but I can have this FOMO because I have a project I started. So I'm like, well, I'm going to pull this out and knit on it. And then I pulled it out and I was like, it's almost done. Like, why didn't I just finish it? So it's the Musselburgh hat, which was almost done. I only had like an hour, 2 hours left to finish it. It's kind of big because it was not made for me. This is for my husband, but here it is. And I was like, okay, well, that really did not scratch my itch because it was only like an hour and a half. So now my husband has a nice new warm hat to wear this winter because it's wool, so it's warm, and it's the Musselburgh hat. And if you know anything about knitting, you know that it's double layered. So you've got 2 layers of wool in there, and it just tucks in on itself. And then where the brim is now 4 layers, so around your forehead, it's super warm. And the cool thing about this hat too is if you want to get creative, you can stitch it in 2 different colored yarns, and then it's a double-sided hat. But so that's his Musselburgh hat. Again, it's a little big on me because it was made for my husband, but there we go. But like I said, so it did not scratch my itch of, and this hat too, it's made to be worn as a beanie. It's made to be worn slouchy. It's also made to be worn super slouchy, depending on what type of person you are. So it's a super versatile, super simple to make hat though. So there's that for my husband. Now my hair is really going to be destroyed. But it didn't scratch my itch, but that's okay because I have plenty of yarn in this house because I used to buy yarn back when I thought I could actually wear stuff. And I started another hat. So this one is female size, but this is another month. I could just keep making these because I just love just straight stockinette knitting. I just love to go just knit, 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 and not really worry. And so, whoops. So here is the yarn, and here's the hat. And this one's ready. It's all my increases are done. So it's just knit, 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 knit until it's about 18.5 inches long. So let's see. Okay, so the cross stitch retreat, there's not really much to talk about. It was on a farm, East Hill Farm, and they provide all the food, breakfast, lunch, dinner. There's cookies and donuts out all day long. There's coffee and tea and lemonade out all day long. So if you can go there and not gain 5 pounds, you're doing really good, because it's farm to table, home cooked meals. There's fritters every night for dinner. And then there's also dessert every lunch and every dinner. It is a lot of food. I have learned over the years to not partake in all the food. So I think I managed to go and come back and not gain 5 pounds. So I'm very proud of myself for that. But it was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of girls that I usually only meet once a year there. And I didn't go last year, so I was lucky to get a spot back again this year, because usually there's a waiting list. So had a blast there. Then I did my quilting retreat last weekend, and I think that's it for a while. I don't think I have anything else crafty-wise coming up again until April for the library stitch retreat. That's not including, my little get-togethers at Panera and stuff with some of my cross-stitch friends that are close by. But that was all my traveling. That's all my crafts. Don't forget, if you want to enter the giveaway for a $25 gift card, wrapping in the comments below. And I'm not sure how many people made it this far, if people actually made it through the knitting and the quilting. If you made it through the knitting and the quilting as well, thank you so much for sticking with me. I really appreciate that. Also, we're almost an hour in, so that was a lot of stitchy time if you've been stitching while you've been watching. So let me know, were you stitching or were you just watching? I know a couple of times I've been watching cross stitch and I'm like, I wasn't stitching, I was on the treadmill, or I was making dinner. So let me know below if you were stitching, and if you were stitching, what you were stitching on. A lot of the times when you tell me what you're stitching on, if I don't know what it is, I like Googling it just to see what people were working on when they were watching me. So I feel like we were kind of stitching together. I think that's everything now. So until next time, happy crafting.